In today's Stuff on Saturday video, in the spirit of helping you to get to know us better, I'm going to talk about my military career. And I'm going to do that right now. Hi, this is Todd from Sniping, Rhino Ranch. I'm down here in our guest house, sitting in the rocking chair that I got when I retired from the military. And in today's video, we're going to talk about my military career, show you some of the things that I've done, and especially show you about being medically retired and how my career ended. Anyway, the reason we're doing that video is because in our last video, which was our introduction into the Shed Wars, which, if you haven't seen it, go check it out and hit the subscribe button while you're there. Anyway, for that video, we did a thumbnail where we're all wearing different uniforms that I've worn through my career and some of the different conflicts that I've been involved in. And that got me reminiscing, and because it's May and we've got Memorial Day coming up, I decided to share a little bit with you about myself, specifically my military career. So let's get to it. So my military career began when I was a 19-year-old 140-pound nothing Army infantryman at Fort Benning, Georgia. I had been working in a factory and decided that is not what I wanted to do with my life, and decided college is the best option for me, and there was no better way of getting college money than going to the Army, so that's what I did. And I figured if I'm going to do it for just one hitch, I want to do something that's a little exciting, and so I picked infantryman. And that worked out really well for me. When I got to my first duty station, I ended up deploying within 6 months of arriving there. And that really got me thinking about, hey, maybe I could make this a career. And so I loved my time in the infantry. I got to do a bunch of stuff when I came back from my first deployment. I got to go to the Jungle Warfare School. I got to go to Ranger School. More importantly, I got the opportunity pretty early in my career at a young age to get leadership experience. First as a team leader in a reconnaissance section, and then as the section sergeant. And that really helped set the foundation for my military career, because unfortunately, after about 6 years of being an infantryman, I ended up getting injured, had nerve damage in my right shoulder, and they decided, hey, you can't be an infantryman anymore. So I kind of reclassed or retrained over to aviation. And it was pretty tough being an infantryman going to aviation, because I was a little bit crazy or different compared to some of those guys. Being in aviation was definitely not something that I really enjoyed, especially after all this blowing stuff up and shooting stuff I got to do in infantry. But what really kind of changed it is when the war kicked off in Iraq. I got to do a lot of things that a normal aviation guy wouldn't get to do. I was running convoys, running up and down the roads, and back in the beginning of war we didn't have any of the up armor stuff or stuff that they have now. Luckily it was still Playtel, my first IED makers back then, so definitely gave probably is what allowed me to survive through all that. But I got to do civil affairs missions, helping build stuff in villages, do med caps, and then I got a lot of excitement that came about because I was going outside the wire all the time. We got to capture a bunch of people, got to capture a bunch of weapons and stuff like that, and so when I finally got back from after a year in Iraq, I got back home. I decided, hey, maybe I'll stay in the military, but regular Army wasn't really what I wanted to do. And so I decided that if I was going to stay in the Army, I wanted to go into Special Operations. And so I ended up going into Army Special Operations Aviation with a unit called the 160th, or the Night Stalkers. You can look them up online and find out about that. My time as a Night Stalker was absolutely amazing. I spent just over 10 years of my career as a Night Stalker, and I mean, you get to fly and do all sorts of stuff, and I mean, who doesn't like to fly? And as a senior guy going up the ranks, I got to do a lot of different things more and more in leadership positions versus what my new job was. So that just really made it a lot more interesting. And you're always at the tip of the spear. I mean, I deployed a lot. Got to go to all over the world, different places. Altogether, I think I did have 9 deployments throughout my career, but it just, you miss a lot of birthdays, you miss a lot of anniversaries. I can't even tell you how many birthdays, anniversaries, or whatever that I missed for people in my family. But it definitely was worth it just because of the people you were with. It's just absolutely amazing, top-notch individuals who are at just the top of their career fields. And I mean, people that are in movies or that they write books about. It was a great experience. Unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. And so I was doing a deployment as a senior enlisted advisor, which is the senior enlisted guy in a task force of about 115 people. It changed, week to week as people came and went. Unfortunately, we were flying a mission, and we had gone into a hot LZ, and third time, I guess, was the charm for them. I ended up getting wounded, which really wasn't that bad, or the gunshot wound wasn't that bad. Unfortunately, in the helicopter crash, I broke my back, fractured my pelvis, and that kind of ended my military career. And it is tough, absolutely tough, spending a bunch of time laid up after being in extremely good physical condition. But that was the breaks. I ended up getting a Purple Heart, and that led to me getting forcibly medically retired. I had over 21 years, and so I really enjoyed my military career. My family was put up with a lot from it. They still put up with a lot. Unfortunately, I still leave to different places to do stuff, but I want to leave you with my last official words that I spoke while I was in the military. This is my last official thing to speak in the Army, so I wanted it to go back to the things that are important to me. So first I want to recognize my immediate family, my wife Jessica. If you ever spend 6 weeks on your back after having a surgery, you really find out how much your wife loves you. And honey, I love you. Thank you for everything you've done. I've been blessed with 3 wonderful kids, Michaela, Michael, and Stefan. I love all 3 of you. Thank you so much for all the times that I was gone and you guys had to pick up the slack and help Mommy who was carrying us. Thank you guys. Daddy will get to spend a little bit more time with you from here on out. I love you, Jess. God bless America. Night Stalkers don't quit.